to us tonight about the project we've done as a synagogue to support an Afghan family. And we were so lucky to have you here, Betty. I want to thank you for all the work you are doing to organize us. And I think we're ready to start.
I think we're ready to wish each other how good it is to be under this tent together. This is our spring tent. We've never had one of these before. It's kind of exciting. This is their first time under our tent? Who are tent old timers? Multi-timers, there we go. So this is the first time you've been under a tent that we knocked the speaker down. So, so we're keeping it exciting no matter how often you're here. And we're gonna sing about how good it is to be in community together. As the light behind us fades, we add our own light, the light of community, the light of Shabbat, the light of joy. And part of our joy this week, as Beth said, is Nora, that you are becoming bat mitzvah tomorrow morning in our sanctuary. So we're going to invite you and your family back to the back side of our tent, where we're going to light the Shabbos candles. Anybody who came with Nora, anybody who raised their hand and said, I'm with Nora, that's my joy. We are so delighted to have you here.
While they're setting up, just a shout out to last week's bar mitzvah, Jasper walking there with the hoodie on. Way to go, Jasper. Beautiful, beautiful job. Nice you're here with us tonight to support your brother in the 4th grade. All right, you guys, are you ready to light those candles?
You have the, yeah. The prayer with you. You just light and we're good. Yep. Mm-hmm. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad lekner shel Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Twofer. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 When you walked in today, can you hear me? Okay. See, we're behind the speakers, so we can't tell if what's happening. You can't hear me. You just hear me. Okay. If I start yelling, the speakers are going to turn on, you know. That's a guarantee. When you walked in tonight, can you hear me now? Okay. Not a microphone, but I'm louder, right? Okay, so I can be taught. When you walked in tonight, did you see a friend or a familiar face that gave you a sense of comfort and joy? Yeah. Nod, yes, raise your hand. Anybody who's here for the first time? Yeah, when you walked in tonight, were you looking around thinking, it might be a little easier if I saw someone who I knew, that this place would be a little bit nicer? I mean, I'm sure you thought it was lovely because look at us, we're lovely. But you thought it'd be great if I could, you know, run into my friend here. That would make it a little bit easier for me. That's one of the things that we do on Shabbat, is we create those communities that are comfortable, where when you walk in, you see a friend or a family member who you may not have seen for a while, and you take that deep breath and think, it's going to be okay. And I think about that each week when we get to the prayer that we're about to reach, Lecha Dodi. Because Lecha Dodi, it means, come friends, let us welcome Shabbat. It's a song that says, let's do this together. Let's make Shabbat together, because you can make Shabbat at home. You could light your candles and you can say your motzi and your blessings, and it would be fine and it would be Shabbat. But Lecha Dodi says it's a little bit more magical if you find the comfort of a friend to do it with. If you find the community that gives you that sense that you walked into a place and that it was familiar. And so as we prepare to welcome Shabbat each week, when we sing this song, Lecha Dodi, what we are saying is that we are going to link hands with the people next to us, not literally. You can do that too. That would be awesome. I wouldn't say no to a little like arm around arm. Well, actually in COVID, maybe don't do that. So now that but theoretically, we link arms and we turn to the act of making sacred time together. We say, come friends, let us notice what is happening around us. So tonight, as a community, as a group of friends, we get to welcome Shabbat. Tonight, as a community, we get to listen to Betty Stone as she teaches us how our community, joined with other religious communities, to perform the mitzvah of welcoming the stranger. 36 times in the Torah, it says, you shall treat the stranger as you would yourself. In case you don't get it, 36 times we are reminded that when we see somebody on the outside of a group of friends, our job is to bring them in to that group of friends. That's our religious obligation. And that's part of what our Welcoming the Stranger Committee did, working with others when they settled an Afghan family in Arlington and helped support their transition. So we celebrate more deeply when we're with friends. We work more effectively for justice when we are with friends. And we have one more sacred obligation when we are with friends that we are going to do tonight in community. That woman is brilliant. You should hear her. Woo! She's on fire. Funny. She's funny. Oh, good Lord.
Is there a way to?
In my mind, my voice is much deeper than that, just so you know. Thank you.
We're getting a delay in this.
That is how it sounds no matter where you're standing, just so you know. In my head, out of my head, it's all the same noise. Middle school was rough, by the way. We do something that's actually really serious, despite my voice repeating myself. We stand alongside those who are mourning, those who have lost somebody they love, and who are in need of being held in that comforting and comfortable space of community. And Judy, we see you here tonight, and Andy, we see you here tonight, and we know that your Father is here in your heart, and we hope you know that you are here in our hearts. And we want to offer you these words of tradition as a community. For some here, the fourth graders, many, this will be the first time they have the opportunity to offer these words of comfort that say, we stand alongside you. So I'm going to invite everybody to rise, please. And we're going to turn to Judy and Andy, who are standing right back there. Judy lost her beloved father, and her father was gracious enough in his love to consider Andy a son, not a son-in-law. And so they are both in mourning today, and we are here with them as they remember. I'm going to say a word. Please repeat it after me. Hamakom Yinachem Etchem Betoch Sha'ar Avlei Zion Yerushalayim. May God's presence comfort you among all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. You may be seated. And we turn to those words, Lecha Dodi. Come, friends, let us settle into the comfort of community.
Betty, we are delighted to call you up.
Just be careful of the wires. Yeah. I don't think right now. Can work on that for the next Shabbat that we're out here. Yep. Only if you want people to hear you. Well, they can't hear you. They can't hear you on the internet if you don't speak into that. Yes. That's right. Woo! I think you're. Switch this out. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, I hope everyone can hear me now. So we have been assisting a young Afghan family of 7, 2 adults and 5 young children since they moved to Arlington. Now, I am a proud Arlingtonian. Anybody else from Arlington? Whoa, okay, look at a lot of 4th graders from Arlington. This is good. These new friends in Arlington from Afghanistan are your neighbors. So I hope you'll have a chance to meet them at some point up close and personal. Play a little soccer, some Duplos, things like that. They came to the United States from Afghanistan in late August, like a lot of Afghans who came. And they made their way to Arlington on February 26th. So they spent a lot of time on a military base and in other places until they got to their home in Arlington. They requested coming to Arlington. They wanted to come to Arlington, Massachusetts, not Pennsylvania, not Missouri, not Virginia, not Nebraska, because they wanted to be near cousins. They wanted to be near family who were already resettled in Arlington. So imagine, 4th graders, I want you to imagine that you suddenly had to leave your home, your friends, your school, your community, everything you know, because it's no longer safe there. So this was the situation for our Afghan friends, this young family. So you have to leave. You're going on a big trip. But remember, you're not going on this big trip because your family is planning an exciting vacation. You're going because it's dangerous where you live and you want to go someplace where it's safe. And imagine that you don't speak the language where you're going. Not only do you not speak the language, you can't read anything because the alphabet is completely different. Different alphabet, so you don't understand what's coming at you. You can't speak, you can't read, everything is different. Have you ever had an experience like that? Dealing with an alphabet that's completely different? Oh yeah, what's your experience? So that's a little taste of that. What do you have to offer? Right. Isn't everybody here working on some Hebrew? And what about that alphabet? Is that like ABCs, like our ABCs? Completely different. So is it easy, difficult, so-so? So-so? For a lot of people, working on a language that has a completely different alphabet is brand new and it's difficult. So that's the situation for our young Afghan family. So now, 4th graders, imagine that you are the adults in the family. And whoa, right, exactly. And it's your job to be responsible for your family. What do you have to find for your family? Shelter. A house. What else? Exactly. Money to pay for the food. This is a very active corner. Fourth graders over here. Anybody? One in the back? Go ahead. You have to pay the water bills. Yeah, you have to pay all the bills, especially the internet bill, right? So you can go online. Right there in the front. Good schools. I heard somebody say schools. Yeah, you have to get your kids in school. And you? Clothes, right. Clothes. You guys are very smart here. You would be good. I need you on the team. One last thing back there. Jobs, yes. These guys are all ready. Okay, so you have to find all those things. Everything to make a comfortable home, to have food on the table, so that you can make a comfortable life in a new country. So, but words you don't understand and you can't read are coming at you all the time. So you need language, but you need help with all of this. That's where Shir Tikvah comes in. Shir Tikvah, along with several churches in Winchester, formed a partnership called the Winchester Interfaith Resettlement Partnership. The little initials go together and it's WORP. Everybody say WORP. It's not very exciting, but it works. WORP works. And WORP formed a neighborhood support team, which we call an NST. And the neighborhood support team is made up of over 50 volunteers. And all the volunteers work on different sub-teams to take care of all the things that you all labeled: the clothing, the housing, the food, the utilities, figuring out rent, finding a house in the first place. We worked very hard, and we're still working hard on all these different committees to try to help our friends, with the hope that one day they will find housing that they can afford on their own. They can have jobs and support themselves, and they can make a comfortable life for themselves. So all the needs that you described, each one of those needs has a committee, and there are people on the committees. Riva Shapiro back there is one of the committee leads. I don't think anybody else who is a committee lead on this, on our NST, is here, but Jeff Sugarman right here is working with our neighbor NST, the cousins NST, and everybody's working on all these things: housing, furnishing the house, education, preschools, because we have little kids in our family. We're preschool age, food assistance, clothing, a legal team we have. And of course, I think people forgot about the doctors. Maybe they don't like going to the doctors, but our family sometimes doesn't either, but you have to go to the doctor to be healthy. So all these committees are full of volunteers working to help this young family. And one of the things that Riva told me a while ago when she was working with the apartment setup committee was, do you want to come and say it yourself, or should I say it? About working with friends who are from Shir Tikvah, and also, oh, she's coming. She's going to talk about what it's like to work with the interfaith partnership churches that work alongside us.
That has been one of the most satisfying and gratifying, okay, all right, don't stick it up my nose, experiences that I've ever had. I've done a lot of volunteer work through the years, but this is just special. The first of all, I would have not had too many opportunities to meet these people from the various churches in the Winchester area. And let me tell you, these folks are really something. The generosity, the dedication, it has just been a wonderful, wonderful experience to work with them. So I thank my friend Betty, even though I have to share a secret. Betty called me one day and said, would you like to work on the apartment setup committee? I said, sure. All right, that turned out to be an awful lot of work, but it was over. We set up the committee, we set up the apartment, and they moved in, and it was lovely. And then Betty called and said, well, the committee's name has changed. Now it's the Everything Else Committee. So there we are. Good night. Just wanted to share one more thing with you. The Everything Else Committee was responsible recently for getting bikes for the family. And the children had received these bicycles for the first time. They never rode bikes before. And there was a picture in the Temple newsletter that I'm sure many of you saw of the children's really smiling and happy and riding those bikes. That day, that Sunday in the New York Times, there was I think it was 4 pages with photographs and story of a region in Afghanistan being bombed by Pakistan. And the children were running and screaming and crying. And I looked at the other picture of now our family with their bicycles smiling in their backyard and thinking, because of us, hopefully these children will never, ever know this kind of fright that is now in their native land. So again, it's just been a wonderful experience.
So thank you, Riva. Rabbi Cari is giving me the hook soon. And so I just am going to take 30 more seconds, just like they say on NPR. Okay, last interview question. You have 10 seconds to go. I just was going to ask you what you thought, but I'm going to tell you how we feel about doing this work. And I would start off by saying it's exciting. And as Riva said, it's rewarding. It's also exhausting. It's stressful. It's complicated. It's fun. It's eye-opening. It's hard. It's curious. It's never ending. And once again, I would say it's rewarding. And part of the reason it's rewarding is because of the volunteers that we all are working with. And part of it is because we're starting to get to know the family better. They're starting to open up a little bit. And on behalf of the entire team, I want to say thank you to everybody who has made any kind of contribution during the setup or during committee work, either hands-on contributions or financial contributions, and special thank yous also to the 28 member families and individuals who participated in the mini high match challenge that we recently had. We hit $1,800. And so thanks to Rabbi Cari and Beth's discretionary funds, they will match, and we will have $3,600 to donate to our coffers to help assist the family.
They're cheering.
They're cheering. They're cheering. And what I wanted to say to the 4th graders, if you're interested, the 2 little guys who are at Thompson Elementary School would like to have their yearbook at the end of this year. And if you want to contribute $1 or $2 to the little jar there, I'll put it right on this table, you can help fund that yearbook for them, and they will have it, and it will say it came from your donations, only if you want to. And I'm happy to answer questions all the time, anytime. And the hook is done. Thank you very much for listening.
Woohoo! When I'm the law in the situation, that's a really bad sign, FYI. We are going to continue with the story that Betty so gracefully shared with us of what it means to work as friends and a team and carry that into Shabbat together. So we are going to have Nora come on up and lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. And I'm going to invite you to rise in body or in spirit as is accessible to
It's
you.
really tough getting around here, but sit. You're gonna can you see it up there? Yeah, just look straight at that. You can go ahead and start.
Yitkadav v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba
Amen.
Ve'ama Devara Krute V'yamli Krute V'chayechon uvyomechon uv'hayedecho bet Yisrael Bagala Uvizman Kariv Imru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Nevarach Le'alam U'almei Almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal Shemei Dekudsha Brichu La'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush V'chata V'nechemata Da'amiram Be'alma Ve'imeru Amen.
We continue calling each other home into the sanctuary of prayer.
With the sound of the birds and all of our voices together and Nora's voice leading us, return to the words of the Shema. Listen, Israel. Listen to the oneness that connects us all.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated. The Ve'afta, the prayer that Nora is about to lead us in, invites us to reflect on the ways acts of love have shaped our days and our nights.
Et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha עבדיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And fourth graders, we're going to ask you to very gracefully head back to that flat cement area back there, where we will sing Hashki Venu. And one day, let's try to switch myself back in. So, moving to one day, and so please join us in this universal call for peace and for protection, that all of the children in our world one day can live in peace and in freedom without fear. All right, you guys, take it away. We're going to begin with the words Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Hamidenu Magenu Lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Hamidenu Magenu Lechaim. All right, sometimes I lay, sometimes I lay under the moon. Thank God I'm breathing. And then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose. We all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving, the waters they're raging. And in this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it face you, no way, no way. 'Cause sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down, get me down. Surround. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. They'll
we'll play. One day, one day, one day, hey. One day, one day. One day all this will change. Treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. Someday we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu, L'Shalom, V'Hamideinu, Malkeinu, L'Chaim. Beautifully done, you guys. You can come back and sit down. Thank you, Shabbat.
We're going to invite you to stand and find something of beauty to lay your eyes on as we prepare for our Amidah, the prayers at the heart of the service. We're just going to sing the first 6 words, which are a prayer to be able to pray. And then we'll invite you to take your time in the beauty of this place and this community. When you are done, you may be seated. And when you're a 4th grader who's done, you may find your way back to where you were standing.
Adonai sepatai tivta ufi agite latecha. Adonai sepatai tivta ufi agite latecha. You feel ready, please feel free to sit down and we'll just sing a little chant together. Salam shalom. Peace, 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 salam shalom.
When we are in community, when we are among friends and leaning on each other, another thing we do week in and week out is name those who are in need of healing, because we believe that we can direct our energy to them by saying names out loud, we make a promise within our community to remember those who are in search of a refuah shlema, a healing of body, of mind, of spirit. If there is somebody you are praying for, somebody in need of healing, I invite you to raise your hand. We'll have you say that person's name out loud here in the sanctuary of our tent. Beth has the names of those members of our community who have reached out in search of healing. And of course, if you are part of our digital community, we invite you to use the chat function of the technology you're using to join us to say the person's name out loud. So again, I invite you to raise your hand so you can say that person's name out loud. Elliot. Yeah. I apologize.
And as a community, we pray for the healing of Zach Spivak, broke his wrist this week. Ruth Schumann, David D., Caroline Lieber, Irina Kamis, Diane Podrachik, Steve Morris, Andre Schuldenfrei, Sharon Solomon, Don Abrams, Bob Ruxon, Dan Ohlendorf, Nancy Alpert, Ayelet Bat Chava Hirsch Shmuel, Debbie Gilman, Neil Daniels Midman, Michael Berman, Simcha Ben Chaim David, Anya Kabel, Sue Boardman, Carol and Hal Ober, Sarah Kianowski, Angie Silver, Debbie Sachs Buteau, Joyce, and Kathy Knapp. Let us join in the words of this healing prayer, Misha Berach. Send it out to all who are in need of healing. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say turn to the words of Oseh Shalom. May the one who makes peace in the heavens help us to make peace right here. And we're so honored to call Nora and her mom up to lead us in Oseh Shalom in this beautiful round. Shalom. Can you help her turn it on? Inu ve'al kol Yisrael Nora, put it right in front of your mouth. Let us say amen. Oh, say shalom. B'ruma. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen. Ve'imru
That's the ritual acknowledgement.
Beautiful, beautiful.
As the dark of night descends on us,
Along with the mosquitoes.
at just before the mosquitoes, well, just after the mosquitoes, one or the other, we turn to this final prayer at the end of most Jewish services. It's a prayer that gives us who are gathered together the chance to remember. Because while we are together celebrating throughout the service, and while we feel so much joy, fourth graders watching you sing, and you're going to sing for us one more time. My heart could just, in my family, we go squee, you know, that's the noise for what my heart does. Also, when we are in moments of joy and community, we remember those who aren't here with us. We often feel their presence all the more so. And so we take time to say these words of mourners Kaddish together, acknowledging and remembering those whose presence we feel in our hearts, even when they are no longer with us in life.
We are remembering tonight Helen Fine, the mother of Miriam Feinkohl. And Judy and Andy, we are remembering your father, Erwin Lebo, in this time of Shloshim. And the Yortzites for tonight are Gloria Midman, Sharon Solomon's beloved mother. And in this year, we are remembering Gladys Schuper, Roberta Lipperman, Michael Slonim, Stuart Fay, Al Levin, Claude Lieber, Ruth Sipperstein, Ken Blumberg, and Henry Wolfson. Let us join our voices together in these ancient words.
We invite you to rise, embody your spirit. Yitkadol v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyom echon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivorach, le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudasha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who created harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And let us say, amen. You may be seated.
After we finish our final song, we invite you to a festive, delicious Oneg Shabbat sponsored by Nora Grossman and her family. And Bailey is setting it up now as I see back there. And fourth graders, can we get you up one last time to end with your signature song?
And while this is happening, we want to give a huge thank you to Dan and to Ben, who have been tucked in the corner in the bushes. It's not easy to move a sanctuary outdoors, and they do it. So thank you so much.
So please join us in the words of Circle Game. The song is right. Going to end with Circle Game instead of This Pretty Planet.
Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. For when the sky was full of thunder, and the seasons they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. Happy on a carousel of behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle. Then the child moved 10 times round the season, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like when you're older must have been, and promises of someday. And the seasons they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. Can we turn? We can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone. Third wheels turn to carwood through the town. And the teller, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow the circle down. And the seasons they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. Can we turn? We can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years went by, and now the child is 20. Though our dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams and plenty, before the last rebound. All right, let's sing it, everyone. Here we go. And the seasons they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and around in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle. Woo! Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
everyone. Come and join in this Oneg Shabbat. Mazel Tov to Nora and her family.
Yes.
They're positioned perfectly here, right by the oneg. It's perfect.
Oh.
Shabbat shalom, baby.